Welcome everyone. I don't play WoW, but I'm here to warn you this episode contains some fruity language and a serious amount of brain power.
Welcome to the third episode of the podcast, Castle NATHRIA edition, because we have been in. We had a good night tonight. We've cleared a normal tonight and began on heroic, where we two-shot huntsman. So we're all pretty happy with that. Some big healing checks in there, I think, though, and also
I'm
trap
enjoying,
trap
I'm
checks as
enjoying your
well.
podcast voice as well.
Yeah.
You started off really smooth there.
All right. Well, yeah. So, well, ladies and gentlemen, nah, that's a bit creepy. But anyway, we've got a German in the bottom corner, just down here. Mr. Nikolai, our top pass DPS hunter. I think he just averaged a 97 tonight, which was pretty pog. Nikolai, welcome.
No, thank you.
Do you want
And
to
hello, everybody.
introduce yourself, what you
Yeah,
play,
well,
all that good stuff?
yeah. My name is Nikolai. I currently play a hunter, obviously the marksman spec, like everyone else, I guess. And I'm pretty new in the guild, actually. I just joined at the start of Shadowlands, and it was my second raid with the guild tonight.
And what
And
we
it was poggers as well.
and what's
Yeah.
what's your thoughts? Is it compared to the first raid to the second raid? Are you feeling happier, or do you think
Uh,
it's pretty good?
I think the the atmosphere was actually really good this time. Well, it was also good in the first raid, but to get kind of stable, I think.
Yep.
Rex did a great job of raid leading. It was really smooth and not too much calls, but just the right amount, I would say. And I actually enjoyed myself here.
No, that's good. It's always good when new people say that as well. I'm sure Rex is going to take that as some complimentary feedback when he watches it. But exciting. So, boys, tonight we cleared normal. So the last one, we'll talk about Sire and Afrius because that's going to be an interesting fight on Mythic. It was easy. I thought it was fairly easy on normal, but it was quite spicy. So the first sort of conversation I thought would be worth us having is what did we think of normal in general. And then sort of what are we expecting just from seeing the normal bosses in Mythic. So, I mean, it's obviously everyone just feels free to chip in, but like I think the first how many bosses is there? 10?
10, yeah.
I think the first 6 were pretty easy, to be honest. Anyone disagree
I
with
think, I think my initial impressions of normal. Obviously, I can't really say wow it's going to be an heroic and mythic, so I'm just going to talk about the fights. There's a few fights which are a bit spicy for melee, and then playing a sub rogue, I'm really not really struggling. But when it comes to a cleave fights, I'm a bit all over the place at the moment. But I'm really enjoying it. I think some of the fights are really fun. I think the last few fights we've just done now, every single one of them was actually quite good fights. Then obviously we'll talk about Sire, Denathrius at the end, but yeah, I'm enjoying it.
No,
I think it seems relatively tightly tuned. Like, still relative, it's normal, but for normal, it's relatively tightly tuned.
yeah, no,
I
DT, any
actually
insight?
don't think that. I
Yeah,
think that our like initial performance, I would call it overall, just wasn't that great. That made it feel kind of hard. But I think there was like a great jump forward today in that regard, and
Oh
that's
no, I agree.
why
I think
today's bosses seemed kind of easy and
Yeah,
got killed relatively quickly.
I think our first raid, yeah, we had a lot of mistakes in the first couple of bosses,
Yep.
especially on Huntsman on our first raid, and that made me think, damn, is this actually really overtuned, or we're just being a bit poor? And I think we was being a bit poor, to be honest. But
Yeah.
Well, there are some
this,
factors we're missing out because the first raid we didn't do any Mythic Plus yet because it just came out. That's one. So going in the second raid, a lot of people have more high level, especially me because I think I had I'd
Just
say 15 more eye level than the initial raid.
just to let the
Plus
viewers know,
plus the
DT got some
rustiness.
gear.
Yeah, I got some gear like every single drop I got. Basically.
yeah, I mean, I heard from you guys a lot, the healers a lot tonight, that there wasn't much to heal. I don't know if that's over item
No.
level now, or whether it's just the last bosses are not as hard. I don't know.
No, there was not a lot to heal. I think when there was something to heal was just people messing up on mechanics, and sometimes you just get one shot, so that's why people die. But overall, there were some fights where you just stood there DPSing, not doing anything.
I want to know if the reason it went so smooth tonight is because of Frothy's godlike tanking.
No.
Because
So
that was new.
absolutely terrible. So for the viewers, Frothy did end up tanking. Mr. Not gonna name any names, but our certain soft drink tank didn't turn up today. So I'll now be drinking Coca-Cola and not Pepsi anymore. So that's all down to him.
I feel like I've been scammed. I feel like it's probably a little bit of karma as well for talking about props so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, you dug your own hole there, I think.
But
Actually,
I think, I was kind of excited to play because I've got like 6 item levels, I think, since last raid, and obviously just a little bit more comfortable with obviously being past that first raid. So I was really ready to pump, and beat Nikolai fight, and
That's never happened in PI, mate.
I mean,
Yeah.
and it didn't happen, so I had to play Prot. So actually, it was a little bit apprehensive. I've never tanked the raid in my life.
Okay.
Well,
And
it doesn't seem that hard.
No, I think it's not. I think it's just because it's new. It's just something new. So it was pretty smooth. It's not, like you said, it's not terribly mechanically challenging. It's just making sure you get the major things. Just
Yeah.
make sure you're positioning correctly. I think the worst thing, if you like, for example, if you're cleaving with frontals or like poor positioning is the biggest thing with
Yeah.
tanks. And I think I was comfortable towards the end of the night. I was fairly happy. So, and I think for me it was just another perspective. So that's I've obviously healed raids of DPS raids, and I just had a crack at tanking just as a step in. So I did enjoy myself.
So
you did very well. But
Yeah.
one more point I just wanted to bring up. I think it's expanding on Nikolai. Nikolai's point of Rex is saying just enough, but compared to first raid as well, and I noticed it on probably the last boss, but he said, right, these are groups, you stand on these markers, you run through the moves when I say, and you just run out with a debus, and that was all his tactics, and he kept it really short, concise, and we did it straight away. Where I feel like in the first raid there might have been too much explaining, maybe scrambling people's brains a bit, but his strategies tonight on how he said it to the raid was really nice, and I think that probably credited to why we didn't maybe fuck up as much.
Well,
Yeah, I
that's the
think
thing,
that's off to him.
because the first raid I had to learn 10 tactics, because 10 bosses, and before this raid I needed to learn 4. So that just makes it easier, and it was a rewatch for those 4 bosses.
Yeah, no. So I think if obviously we'll bring it back to sort of a realistic point as well. It is normal. We should be walking through this, so I think it's good to see that we did walk through it in 2 nights. The first time was cut a little bit short due to a bit of lag, but we've cleared that. So I don't. Oh, Frothy's mic. So we've cleared normal now. I don't think we'll be going back in there. I think we are going to do a bit of an off-raid night just for a little bit more gear because there's still good stuff in there. So on to heroic. So obviously we killed. Actually, no. Let's talk about side and NATHRIA first because it was an interesting fight. So obviously for those that have not done it yet, obviously a lot of the mechanics are there's swords on the floor, so there's a lot of moving in and out of stuff. There's pushbacks that can overlap with that, as I witnessed during the kill and got knocked off. But I think we were going so fast with the DPS. I think we just sort of forced that overlap. So it'd be interesting to see how it is in heroic and mythic.
It does look like a really fun fight. It's got some cool mechanics and they're like visually quite appealing.
Yeah.
And I just it's normal, so it only has so much, and obviously heroic will be relatively the same, but maybe an extra mechanic and a bit more, bit higher numbers going out. But
I really like how it includes pretty much every kind of raid fight you can have in there. You have, you just your single target. You have your massive AoE on all the ads when they come out. You have a second phase when you pretty much have to cleave the ads.
Yeah.
You have positioning, which is important. You have running away. You have obviously the mirrors and
the mirrors is really cool,
swords.
actually. Like just using the mirrors is
What,
thematically awesome.
How did you find it, Nikolai, in terms of an end boss fight?
I think it's a fun fight. It was funny to see how people easily got confused with the mirror mechanic. Because I think the first initial thought is that you actually land in another room, but obviously you just land on the other side. So I think that's a fun one from Blizzard's side. And heroic adds some mechanics, and mythic is even gonna be even more fun.
I think it feels like so short because obviously because it obviously is going to be a lot shorter than mythic on normal. But I think we've went from like playing like Obviously, they're really long the Zoth fight, and obviously not raided since then.
Yeah.
And then you're back onto an end boss, and I'm like, oh, it's over already. But obviously, it's only normal. So I'm really excited to see how that pans out
We
on
need
Mythic. I
to.
think it'll be a cool
One
fight.
thing we've got to remember is obviously we don't like some of us have joined the guild. Obviously, when you formed it as well, we all joined sort of do Mythic, so we've never really done a normal or heroic progression together as a guild. So I think it felt a bit weird. We did blast for it, as we should do though.
Yeah.
I think the fact that we killed 2 bosses on heroic as well just shows that we should really breeze through heroic as well.
I think it was nice that we got in heroic at the end of the raid and just kind of got into it, you know. So now, like tomorrow, we're into it already. We're kind
100%,
of
100%.
You know,
Oh yeah, we're raiding tomorrow as well, aren't we?
Is there anything else like sort of side and NATHRIA related that people are sort of thinking, wow, quite exciting, or holy shit, I'm not looking forward to that in heroic?
I should be able to take his sword at the end of the fight.
Yeah, I
It's a
wish.
pretty cool looking sword.
I hope that's like a hidden log or something. I don't think it is, but it'd be cool if it was.
I think you can get a battle pad or something, actually.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Yes. Well, I've got 25 of them stones in my bank to level up to max level straight away. I'm so excited. But that's good though. So I think it was a good fight. I quite enjoyed it. Cool vampire theme, especially for like me and Luke obviously been Venthia. Oh, I'm Frothy now. It's
gang.
Kind of felt like I was killing one of my own. It felt weird. I'm sure I saw him at my tea party last week. I was serving him tea as he walked in. That's it. But no, that's good. So sort of obviously normal's normal, but moving on to like heroic. Obviously we went in Shriekwing. It's pretty straightforward. Did we one shot it? I think we did.
Yeah. Oh no, we didn't.
No, we had one. We had one wipe.
Yeah.
Alright,
we had
so
one wipe and then cleared it.
Had a little bit too much red on the first.
So for me, I think I think it felt exactly the same.
It feels like an introductory boss. It is what it is.
Well, the only actual different mechanic is the circles in phase 1, isn't it?
But like, there's not really much. You still your main part of that fight is line of sight, dodge, run out with a debuff. It's pretty straightforward.
You can't get stuck on that fight. You really
It's
can't.
the first fight of the raid. It's meant to be easy.
It'll be interesting it'll be interesting to see how the difficulty amps in Mythic, because I'm not suggesting that Wrathion was hard, but the difference between the heroic with Mythic was fairly significant in my opinion. And sometimes heroic to Mythic first bosses can actually be a really big step up. So it'll be interesting to see how that.
If it did a Wrathion like Mythic buff to Shriekwing, I think it would actually be really hard.
Yeah, so to restrict your movement, so you have to be smart with your movement.
I remember doing that. Yeah.
Playing hide and seek and dodging the circles would be madness without.
The fight's gonna snowball.
I'm not looking
at snowball in the beginning, because in Mythic you're gonna have you're not gonna have full heroic gear yet. You're gonna go in there. The boss is gonna have more health, so you're gonna have a lot more red pools, a lot less room to move, which just snowballs the boss. Eventually, when you're full Mythic gear, you'll blast through that again, because then it's easy. But the longer the fight lasts, the more difficult it will become.
No, it's true. Yeah, it's true.
But I think that's kind of normal. I think that was the same with Wrathion. You need a kind of a DPS check on your first boss of Mythic to not have normal geared people clearing Mythic or starting clearing Mythic.
No, not true. But I thought it was a good first fight. Like Luke said, though, it's a very much an introduction fight. The healing wasn't anything of a challenge.
No.
It was, if anything, we were probably sniping each
other.
How
was Council from a healer perspective? Because I know that is a fight that can be quite intense, especially on the harder difficulties we talked about. It's quite intense to heal on the harder ones, at least.
It was okay. I think we've been over healing a lot of this stuff, to be honest.
Council was the dance boss, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're getting mana back while we're dancing.
Yeah, I think if you know the fight as well, like you know where your time's coming to get your mana back as well.
Can I? I'm not naming names, but on the counter fight, I was getting triggered, because Kane, as a healer, managed to out DPS one of the range on the ads.
Did I?
Yeah. The range had like 11k and Kane did like 12k to the ads, which was kind of silly, to be honest.
Sub-rogue, trying to do one shadow dance, in between ads, doing no DPS basically, because the range ain't killing him. And then I look at the end and Kane's done more DPS. I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Obviously that'll be rectified when we actually start progressing and people
just
looking
for
the logs.
But there's no, as I say it every week, and I will continue to. There's no reason you shouldn't DPS as a healer. But yeah, no, it was a interesting boss.
It was fun.
It's fun. That'll be fun on Mythic. That I'm telling you. that will be a laugh.
Yep.
I'm looking forward to progressing these bosses from
Yeah,
a pretty like low item level standpoint, because obviously when we both started playing again raiding back in March or somewhere around there, the expansion was pretty much on its end. We came in and we was already geared and people was already progressed.
Even when we formed, obviously our guild,
yeah, I think we were.
obviously it was
already.
still an achievement to get cutting edge because that wasn't originally like obviously we wanted it, but we wasn't like gunning for it. But we were really overgeared even at that point in the inception of the guild.
Yeah,
So it's nice to be actually put in a proper progressional environment as a group.
yeah, no, it's good. But I think first boss pretty good. Moving on to Huntsman. Though that was by far the spiciest boss we've done for us.
Yeah,
as
there was
healers.
some.
That was intense.
I think that was self-induced though.
Yeah.
It didn't need to be
Yeah.
that hard.
I think the
Yeah. I think
old
the boss was
CC
actually very easy mechanically. I mean, if the mistakes weren't made, there's not that much to heal. I mean, damage comes in, but you do have time before the next damage comes in.
Yeah,
Just hotting it up, even healing the ads was so easy.
yeah. I
You're,
think I was
it
only
just
putting 2 into
you
the
put a
ad.
heal on it, it's not a race whatsoever. It's just when people mess up mechanics, then
Yeah,
it becomes obviously a different thing,
How was
and then you need raid cooldowns. But
it from a hunter's point of view, Nikolai? You were very much in charge of the traps, aren't you?
Well, obviously, I mean it's still pretty straightforward. Like you just blast the boss like all the fight, and when the ad spawns, you turn around real quick, drop trap, and keep blasting again. So yeah, it's not that difficult actually.
Yeah.
Like the ad always like you see a little ball flying around, and then you know where the ad lands. You can throw the trap, and that's it.
The easy life, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, not easy life.
Does Kane line up PI for when you have to kill the shades with a damage buff?
No, I actually whisper him when I need it, so
Yeah, it's easier.
you can't do stupid stuff with it.
Well, it's basically so he can't blame me if he don't get a 99 pass on one of the fights. It's his own fault because if he whispers me PI, I PI him straight away because it's highlighted on my grid.
Probably make a week of it actually. If you
No, we do.
We've
if
got
it
one.
recognizes a whisper, it'll automatically PI him. There's probably a mechanic there somewhere.
That would save life.
Yeah, but don't say that on the podcast. Now everyone will whisper PI to Kane.
Right.
Actually, challenge out to all the raiders in the guild if they manage to get like 90s or higher, coming in next to the next bosses, they can have some fun in the PI madness as well.
There we go.
I'm happy to share.
There we go.
But
And
start doing more damage, boys.
that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Carl Bless
I've
did
got
get
my
his.
legend.
Carl Bless got his
I've got my
legendary today, so he'll start pumping in Shadow.
Yeah, I just got
Yep.
my legendary after this raid as well, so we'll see.
I should get mine on Wednesday from the Great Vault Quest, so I'm really excited to like not be able to use that because I've been scammed.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
if it makes you feel any better, mate. I got my disc one today, but I can't really play
mean,
disc at the moment.
Yeah.
So where
to
do you
feel-
get your tanking one?
I already have them all.
Oh, okay,
Actually,
that's good.
I
Yeah,
just
just
don't want
stay
to
tank.
craft them.
There we go. Coffee problem solved.
Yeah, I have all the tanking and all the holy ones, and well, that are good anyway, pretty much. And then the red one just comes from the quest.
Does anyone know where our soft drink tank was tonight, or was it a no-show?
I
It
think it
was
was
an
no
AWOL,
show.
yeah.
It's alright though. After what I've told you, and I've
You-
stopped drinking Pepsi now.
Give him a
Simple as
stern
that.
whisper when you next see him online, Ken.
Yeah, I will do. I'll do me old Sterner.
Good lad, good lad.
But no, so Huntsman, I think overall, I think the mechanics are quite simple. I think it is a bit of a healer check, if I'm honest.
Well, I think Nikolai showed him who the real hunter was, really. Let's just say that.
Well, that's it. If anything, you should probably get his title.
If Carl was locked in one of those cages, then I'd have been scared.
Yeah, mate. If you'd have saw that little
Maybe that's for me. Fake mechanics, just having Carl.
For everyone who doesn't know, Card is my porcupine pet that I sadly had to ditch because Beastmaster isn't as good now. But I'm sure he'll make a comeback.
Yeah.
How are you finding that, Nikolai, the switch from Marksman? Do you enjoy Marksman more? Or?
Actually, it doesn't feel that much different because like.
Surely there's a massive difference because you're actually doing the damage now, not Carl.
Yeah.
True. Big if true.
Someone had to tell Carl to do the damage, I guess. Yeah. But no, I think the difference isn't that much. Like it's easy to learn, hard to master. There's like small things and nuances that you have to like keep in check to like actually get the orange and pink numbers going.
Still only 3 buttons to press, isn't there, really? At the end of the day.
How
Nah,
I'm joking.
nah.
If you play Hunter,
I
you're always
mean,
going to have limited buttons, aren't you?
yeah, but I guess that counts for most classes. Like,
Yeah, no,
but
definitely.
as long as the numbers play in, actually, I don't really care what
Yeah,
spec I play.
I tried Outlaw today, guys, and honestly, like with 3 dungeons, it's so easy. I
Ooh.
learned it within like 3 dungeons. Not looked at a guide or anything.
I think the
Honestly.
Outlaw's actually doing quite well.
Oh, really,
How
they're
Yeah,
higher
just
on numbers right
after
now.
you use pistol shot.
that's it, yeah. So we'll
I made a recall from a pistol shot. Every time I can use it, it actually shoots. The recover shoots to let me know that it's on proc.
it will interestingly. That is our next topic of conversation. Not pistol shot, just to clarify. We're not
I was excited.
yeah, no.
In-depth
So I think
analysis.
is before we do move on to Mythic Puzzle, because it is obviously quite a big topic.
Yeah.
Is there all else from the raid that people sort of want to talk about? I think we'll have, obviously continuously have more because we're going to start getting challenges that way. I don't really think we've been challenged yet. I think it's
yeah.
going to be a bit of a gear check for some people. I think
Well, what's
still is.
everyone's favorite boss so far?
Ooh.
I honestly think
You're not allowed to say the last one.
as a healer,
Oh damn.
I quite like Sludge Fist because it was all AoE healing. So as a Holy Priest, it's just insane. And disc ramping on there will be so fun.
I liked
What is AoE damage from Sludge Fist?
It's
Sorry.
when he smashes,
when he hits the
when he
pillar.
hits the floor or the
Oh,
pillar,
right, okay.
it just blasts everyone. And obviously
Okay.
that in Mythic, that's going to hit bloody hard.
I I liked Lady Minerva because it did seem kind of intricate. But
Mhm.
for my favourite, I can't really get away from the fact that Artificer, I just really like the portals things. I thought that was just fun.
Yeah, I
I,
think I'd have to
I,
agree with you there. That is really
it's
fun.
just a fun mechanic. Yeah, I like that a lot. Like just TPing around the room and stuff.
I don't think I remember that one.
It's
Again,
the one with
visually, it's a really
the
nice.
steeds,
Oh
and
yeah,
you got
yeah,
Visually,
to
yeah.
it's
drop
a
them
really
in the
nice fight
portals.
as well. It's just a nice visual.
Yeah.
I actually
that.
enjoyed the bat the most. It's just always funny, like because there's always one person who manages to run in the circle and seeing them get insta grip just always puts a smile on my face just
Yeah.
because it's funny.
Yeah.
No, that's good. DT, what
Yeah.
about you?
I think Council Blood so far. I mean, we only did like 2 times, so it's kind of hard to say the favorite right now.
You
But I
do
think
look
it's
like a bit of a dancer,
Yeah,
DT.
you
To
are
be fair.
quite. You're the like the sophisticated one with the red wine, like doing a bit of.
yeah. That's why it's looked the most posh one. So yeah, I thought that
I like
like my
it.
favorite.
Proper.
No, there are different stages. You can get your mana back. There's a little bit of DPS check in there. You have a little bit of everything, I think. So my favorite would be the last one, but it's
Yeah,
a
I had
bigger
no
one.
clue.
Not
I
So
had
allowed to
no
say
clue
it.
what was going on that fight. To be honest, I was just running around trying to hit ads because Vex was just ads, and it was always up.
Which is
So
this on council?
yeah.
Well, mate, you just ask me to smite, and I'll smite. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I
Yeah.
enjoyed the dancing. If you want to see something funny, watch a panda dancing. It's great.
Yeah, true. And a
They
rogue.
actually changed the dance mechanic from when the game was on beta, didn't they? So you
Yeah,
used to get like
originally
an
you got
action
it.
bar that you had to press the arrow keys
Yeah,
on the
Okay.
on the vehicle bar, for example. And
Oh,
apparently it
okay.
was very like not good.
laggy as well. A bit of
Yeah, like
response time will be
delayed.
shit. But no, that's good.
Yeah.
So I think overall the raid seems good. I think we're looking forward to carrying on, and we'll obviously bring everyone more and more information. I'm sure we'll have some stories. We'll get some clips of it as well. We'll make some sort of video once heroics worth putting like a montage together. I don't really think normal
Mhm.
something people are going to be bothered about. So moving on to everyone's favourite, and we've all been playing it, Mythic Plus. Luke's smiling, he loving it.
I'm loving Mythic Plus so far, mate.
So
Just
what?
learning all the new routes,
I guess what's obviously
all the new
this.
mechanics.
What about the main one though? Prideful. I love it. I think it's great.
Yeah, I think it's a great addition to the game. It's a nice, easy affix, I think, to bring everyone back
For a
into
first
Mythic
one.
Plus.
Yeah,
It's nothing too like the last one on Nihilotha, you know. Um, it was almost like 4 affixes. You had 4 bosses or whatsoever, but this one's just one mob.
yeah.
Comes every 20%. You kill it, you get a buff. There's nothing too. You don't have to think about it
But
too
that
much. And if you're getting roots, usually those prideful buffs hit for a good stage in the dungeon.
and that buff though, that buff is. Do you want to tell people what the buff's about? Because there's elements to that
It's
buff that
just
people don't know.
It's just a damage increase, and then I'm pretty sure it gives you a mana back as well for the healers.
So for that, yeah, for the duration, you can't possibly spend the mana it gives you back. So you essentially can spam whatever you want. So as DT, probably have every single dot on each person in the party because his mana's regenerating that quick.
Yeah.
It doesn't. It's a great feeling as a healer because you know if you're
Yeah.
getting close to Prideful and your mana's going low and you're like, usually I need to drink, but you're like, no, don't need to. Let's go.
Yep. Exactly. And you also need to, because a lot of those engines have a lot of taking damage.
Yeah.
So you're burning through your, especially now with the gear you have, you're burning through your mana pretty fast.
Yeah, there's a
So
lot.
having that is a good thing. You'll need it to actually push higher.
No, agree.
I actually think I don't actually like as much. It feels a little boring because like you just keep doing trash and then it pops up and it's like, oh yeah, whatever, let's just kill it. There's like not
just
really
one more
much.
mob. Yeah.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
not really much thought to it. It's just like
I do see what you're saying there. I think it's nice for introduction back to Mythic Plus, and I think a lot more people are going to be wanting to do it. But yeah, for maybe more seasoned players, we might find it boring. So I see what you're saying there. Yeah,
Like a lot
I
like
didn't think
less
about it that way.
interaction, isn't it? Like for example, if you look at the obelisks, for example, that was
There
like
was
a lot more interaction.
Yeah.
rather
there was also like a lot more stuff to optimize. Like
Yeah, you could.
now you just have to see that it pops up when there's like much trash or
I suppose
was
like
ahead of
where
you.
Yeah, there's
where
not
it's
much
like
control,
different
is there?
to reaping, for example, where reaping was trash based, but reaping you had to kind of plan for, like, or
Yeah.
you'd actually wipe.
What
Like quite harsh. So
have you done many keys, Frothy, or?
I have. I've done, I think, like a 7 or 8. I'm not.
He's been too busy with his Path of Ascension, mate.
I'm not. I can't even do that anymore.
Are you
so I'm
ascended
pretty
yet?
triggered.
Are you ascended yet or not?
No, because like I fucking betrayed them, didn't I? So
Oh, you're Venthian, aren't you? You're hosting the tea
I-
party.
I can't. No, I'm not unlocking it, bro.
He's walking the path of sin now.
That's
He's
it.
working
Yeah.
on his tanking spec.
But I
Yeah,
think,
so I've not actually seen the new affix yet, so I plan to do hopefully some of the that like kind of grinding the keys up.
yeah, no, that's good.
I'm tanking them as well because why would I not be?
Yeah, I mean, Frothy's
yeah,
the
that's-
new tank now.
Need
I've
practice
kind
now.
of, I've been having to because kind of
Yeah.
with one of our tanks not being really on and at like normal times, and then
That's it.
like obviously we have Rex, so there's no one else. So I did
Yeah.
feel a bit guilty if I didn't do it,
Yeah.
even
No.
if I didn't want to.
No, fair, mate. I mean, you're doing well.
Are you enjoying them, Frothy, when you do them? Or you seem a bit resistant?
Tanking.
Yeah, just
He
not
loves it, man. He WhatsApps me telling me how much he loves
Mythic
tanking.
Plus in general, I guess.
I am enjoying Mythic Boss. I really like the dungeons. I wouldn't say I'm enjoying tanking them yet because I'm still pretty apprehensive with them because obviously tanking Mythic Plus is a completely different ball game to tanking raids. It's actually very hard to do very well.
Yeah. But that's practice makes perfect, mate.
Yeah, so I'm giving it a fair crack. That's what I'll say, I suppose.
So I guess the big change that we're adding in Mythic Plus is Luke's already bored of sub and he's playing Outlaw.
Well, sub is so I've been watching High Keys. I've been doing a lot of research, of course, as well. And I you know me, I like to push. So I'm trying to see what the meta is.
I think it'll end up being Outlaw, probably.
Well, it's sub at the moment. A lot because basically what they're doing is taking a mage and a hunter, and they take the sub rogue just to blast all his cooldowns on the Pride full ad.
Oh, because they've just got such high single target burst.
Such high single target burst, so they'll literally use all the cooldowns, Shadow Blades and everything, just burst that down, and then the hunter and mages have their cooldowns for whatever hard trash pack or bosses follows it, because they have a lot more higher consistent damage at the moment.
No, that's good.
But I was doing Outlaw earlier, and it was a bit more fun to not have to play that stop and start play style.
Outlaw is a really fun spec, and it's went through some really good changes for the spec. It was a bit frustrating before. It's had some of that frustration eased and had some cool abilities come back. So
it feels a lot more smoother as well. Because like if I have to, we look at the rogue to do a lot of control in a Mythic Plus. So if I'm playing sub rogue and I pop my Shadow Dance, I've got 6 to 8 seconds or whatever the cooldown is, and then I have to throw out a kidney shot, a cheap shot, a kick, a blind. I've just wasted 4 seconds of my Shadow Dance, and then that's half my burst window gone. And then once my burst window's gone, I'm doing no damage whatsoever. Where when you're playing Outlaw, a few globals here and there really doesn't matter that much at all. So that's the difference. Like sub rogue is just start stop with the damage, and it's just not really my playstyle whatsoever.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's frustrated me more than anything. We'll go into a trash pack, and maybe I can do massive AoE damage, get my overall up. I know that isn't really what times your keys, but you know, it's always fun to see the DPS meters. But then there's a few kidneys I have to get off, and interrupt I have to get off, blinds, you know,
Yeah.
whatever.
No.
That's my Shadow Dance window gone because obviously I've popped it early. Unless I predict, obviously there's going to be really good sub rogues out there which know what interrupts and stuff they might have to do beforehand, and then they'll probably hold on to the Shadow Dancers and Shadow Dance afterwards. But I'm not that seasoned, especially as a sub rogue or in these Mythic Pluses yet.
Not
So
yet.
I don't know if I'm not enjoying it because I'm not that well versed in sub yet, or whether it's just not my playstyle whatsoever.
It's a very intricate spec.
Takes a
But
bit of time, doesn't it? Yeah.
playing Outlaw was a lot more to what I'm used to coming from Demon Hunter. Like CCing things really doesn't take a toll on your DPS whatsoever on Outlaw. You
Yeah,
can
yeah.
just throw them out.
No,
That's why I was trying it out today. I'm not going to say I'm going to start maining Outlaw, but it was just fun to see the comparison.
no, that's good.
Yeah.
You got to play what you enjoy at the end of the day. If sub's not an entertaining spec in Mythic Plus,
Plus,
it's
I
not really...
wanted to see what it was like because Outlaw's numbers are really high at the moment. It seems to be doing better than Subrogue. Maybe not in like the first 10 seconds of 20 seconds of a burst, but even in single target, they're not that far behind Sub.
No,
And then in
good.
Cleave, they're way ahead of Sub. So I had mixed thoughts at that moment.
No, very nice.
But I've just got my legendary on Sub, so I've locked myself in.
There we go. Yeah, well,
Yep.
I'm refusing to buy mine yet because it's not worth it at the moment. I don't think. How's DT? How are you finding healing some of these keys?
Well, it's actually really fun. Because I started BFA pretty late, so I came in not knowing the dungeons while everyone was already farming them, and it just was a different mechanic. I felt like I was always behind. Eventually, I could do it and it was no problem, but I didn't go to the actual progression, which I'm doing now. I actually already did like 40 keystones already. Got a lot of gear, obviously, but I actually went through the progression, like doing the keys and learning where to stand, where when the damage comes in, what does what, and you also hear the tank and the DPS discussing the mobs, which you don't do when it's on farm, and that's how you learn to fight as a healer as well, because you pick things up, what they're saying when they're using their cooldowns and stuff like that. So I think it's really fun. I like it much more than the BFA ones. Also, the dungeons itself, I think it's really good. It's at the moment, at least, it's very challenging, which I like. I just hope it doesn't become too easy. Once you get a lot of gear and you got your best in slot items, obviously you can always push higher, but I'd like to have some competition and get some reward for it. For me, I don't really care about the rankings, so anything above a 15, I'd do it. I don't mind it, but it's not something I would actively go for. I mean, I don't want to go back to Diablo and say like, oh, I've got the rift number 130, or whatever. I mean,
Yeah, no.
eventually it just becomes a grind, and
How?
everything becomes a one shot.
So have you done keys on your Shaman yet?
No, well, the Mythic Zeros I've done, but I haven't done actually keys. The reason why is because I wanted to gear my main first, and didn't make much sense to
Yeah, no.
take an alt while you can still get upgrades. But I'm really curious how the Shaman will go. I've watched you do keys as Disc and as Holy. Um, Holy seems much better. But you're also learning the dungeons better, so
Yeah, I mean,
and you're yeah.
I think it's quite a known fact. Disc is only good if you know the fights. That a lot of people forget that that's not just raids, that's also dungeons as well. If you don't know when the damage is coming, then you really will struggle because Disc is not a reactive healer to what Holy is. It's much
That's
easier.
why a lot of people play Holy early, isn't it?
Yeah, which I've been
Well,
playing
that's the
today.
reason, yeah.
I think we did a couple. I think we timed. What did we time? We timed a 10 and nearly timed that 11 Plague 4. I think we just fucked up on the percentage count a little bit. That cost us at the end. But it's really good. It's really reactive. Playing with instant flash of lights is much easier than being like, ah, shit, everyone's at 50% health. I need to now try and ramp within a few seconds to pick everyone back up.
Yeah, you just fall behind, don't you?
Yeah, it's not the best. You end up becoming a Shadow Mend healer. and
Shadowman Simulator.
you get to the end of your run and you're like, shit, man, Shadowman healed more than Atonement. That's when you know you need to go holy. Just until you know it, but it's interesting. How Nikolai, how are you finding marksmen? I mean, they are absolutely ripping dungeons apart.
Well, yeah, obviously every 2 minutes you're basically God and just wipe everything away from your face.
The Wild
Um,
Spirits
it's
volley combo.
It's quite scary
Yeah.
how much
Explosive shot as well, actually significant also. Just really big AoE bursts very regularly.
It
I
really
mean,
is.
obviously, it's kind of fun, but
It's fun, yeah.
I'm actually very lazy in terms of Mythic Plus. I actually tend to do like my weekly keys and stuff, and then I just call it for that week. But
Well, speaking of sort of being lazy and effort into weekly mythics and stuff, the Great Vault we've not talked about actually.
Yeah, so that was
Because people are start progressing that now. So have I just absolutely just fucked the plan up there?
No, I mean the agenda's free flowing. If anything, we are free flowing spirits.
It's fucking all over the shop
No,
now.
it definitely is, and the Great Vault was sort of the next thing because it's something we haven't had. I mean, I don't think we've ever had something like this where we've had such a vast option of gear to pick from. The amount of, I mean, I know more than anyone. I got 7 Sea Breezers during the last season of BFA. So
all over Sea Breeze.
Yeah, so having the
I
ability
don't think
to
I got an
choose,
upgrade in 4 months from the chest in
yeah,
BFA.
mental. But so does someone? I mean, feel free, a bit of an open floor. Does someone want to explain what the Great Vault is? Because there may be people that don't understand it properly, and this might actually help.
I think no one in the score actually.
Go on then, Frothy.
No, but
Frothy's going to explain it.
I think
Luke,
so.
take notes.
My take on it is, I mean, the raid section is pretty clearly obvious how that works. Defeat 3 bosses, defeat 7, defeat 10.
Yeah.
Um,
we'll have done that today, won't we?
yeah, so we've got all 3
Yeah.
boxes unlocked now. So the only way we can upgrade that now is obviously doing it on heroic. So if we kill one more in heroic, our first box will become heroic.
That's
Actually. Mythic Dungeon one, now, I think that's where it confuses most people, the Mythic Dungeon one. So, as far as I can see, if your first dungeon of the week is a 15, for example, or a 10 or a 12, whatever, your first box will be that level.
Yeah.
No, the way it works is
How that works?
it basically just takes your 4 lowest
That's your second
high
box.
key.
Not
No.
for your first one.
So for
Not for your first one.
you basically have like 3 spots in each row. There's like a raid row, a Mythic Plus row, and a PvP row. And basically, the more stuff you do, the more or the wider your
Loot range.
choice gets.
Yeah.
The four Mythic Keystone Dungeon box and the 10 Mythic Keystone Dungeon box take your lowest of a number of runs,
Yeah,
but
exactly.
the first one does not.
Yeah, so that's good. So you're guaranteed
because
high
it
piece.
just has one highest to count.
Which is right though, because you should be entitled to your.
So you've still got the mechanic of your weekly 15 we had from BFA. You do 115, you get your reward for it.
Yeah, but you go try to do a 15 now.
Yeah.
Using 15 as an example, 10 then.
Yeah.
What is important to note is that it's linked to that loot table. So in the PvP row, you will get the choices between PvP gear. In the raid row, you will get choices of the raid gear.
Yeah, so the loot table, yeah.
Yeah, at least that's what they announced. We'll see when it actually happens because nobody actually got loot yet. How useful it is.
Are the PvP trinkets in the PvP gear?
I really hope so.
Yeah, because I've unlocked 2 of the PvP boxes now.
So that'll be pretty big for some classes, because some classes will benefit from. I don't know if fire mages are still using the unused PvP trinkets.
No. So I used every but the last PvP one now. I don't know about everyone else.
PvP gearing is very easy at the moment.
Yeah,
it
is when you play Paladin, I think. Anyway.
But not, yeah, so that's what the Great Vault is. You also get a quest as well to sort of get a reward from it, and you get a legendary. And
I think it was hard for it to be worse than what we had previously.
I mean, I think it's such a great addition because for casuals, nothing changed. They do like one key and they have their one lottery ticket basically, and more dedicated people or people who invest more time actually get rewarded for doing more in sense of having like a wider selection of items to pick from, and I guess that's really a nice path that Blizzard took.
Yeah, I
It's
think
not a great entry.
they've always struggled with trying to balance between the hardcore players and casual players, and I think this is, like you said, it's just one step. They've gone in the right direction here, I think.
Well, it's a good counterbalance
reward
because
for both.
it makes gearing pretty easy because you can have the choices, but they made gearing harder in a raid because you will. Well, now we had 5 drops on bosses, but after next week there will be 3
Yeah,
drops
that's
per boss,
Yeah.
plus no bonus rolls. So they took away gearing from that end. But the I think the chest or whatever you want to call it, the thing makes up for it because you can actually target certain items.
And they also had it so the dungeon gearing it always falls under the raid gearing,
yeah.
Yeah,
item
Which
level
it
wise
should
as
be.
well.
I think
Yeah, it
Yeah.
should be. Yeah.
I think it's a big addition. Giving you the ability to at least choose from a range of items means it may be playable. Um,
Yeah.
let's wait and see though, because it could be a lot of shit. And we could all be complaining. We could all complain in a week. Let's be
Well, the
honest.
thing is, what we actually don't really know, or at least I think so, is can you have duplicate items in
You cannot.
the chest?
No, I think
Okay.
That
I
was
think they've confirmed.
confirmed on a tweet because it did happen in beta, but they confirmed
Yeah.
that was a
Yeah.
bug. Yeah.
No,
Okay. Yeah.
Imagine having a like legendary crafted shoulder piece and then literally getting three
Or
three
give the choice
shoulders.
between 3 sea breezes.
Ken would get three sea breezes.
I'll be sat.
Yeah.
I'll be sat there like I thought they got rid of this shit. But yeah, no. So I think it's a great addition. We'll see what happens. Obviously, when we do our next one, we'll be able to talk more about the options. Hopefully, we've got some good options there. I guess the next part of that we've all been doing a lot of, and I know we have. And me and Nikolai sat there for 4 hours every day. Is Torghast. So I think it's coming quite.
Yeah.
It's very quickly coming quite obvious that doing this on multiple characters is not something you're gonna
It
want
is
to do.
time consuming because when you like, for example, if you're doing a fresh thing now, you'd have to do a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the first time,
So what
and
I can, yeah,
and that's a few hours,
I can safely say. I
especially
mean,
with the hard class to do it on.
what
I
did we?
think
What did we
I
do,
think
Nikolai? How many did we do?
I think we had like 4 layers
Yeah, so that's
total, which
that's
amounts to 4
And
times 6 rooms. So
there's
yeah,
still more layers to unlock as well.
yeah. So I
Yeah.
think
2 more.
this is gonna
I,
get quite
I think
tedious. I
at
think.
this point I'm the only one left that likes Storghast in the
I
entire
like
build.
it, absolutely like it.
It's better than Visions. Don't get me wrong.
I think an idea they tried to do, and I think this was the idea behind it, but it hasn't really worked. Is you farm them all, you unlock the Torghast bonuses,
Yep.
and it makes it easier for alts because they're count bound.
Yeah, but I don't think it does.
But those additional things don't help that
No,
significant.
there needs to be like if you're like there needs to be a thing where whatever you've done in your main, you can then just go in on your alt and do all the top floors rather than having to do all the little shitty floors before. So let's say if we need to do floor 6, I should be able to go on my hunter now and go
They
on
should just make the
both
layers
sides.
count bound. Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
I think
I
that.
don't
Yeah,
agree.
no
I don't
worries.
agree.
I think it'd fix it personally, but
I don't agree because of course we're complaining about it now because now we have to do it, but that's something you only do in the first 3 weeks, and that's gonna be it for the couple of months. Because next week we're gonna open up 7 and 8, and after that we're just doing the 8th, and that's it. So obviously it's a drag now because you have to do it, but if you compare that to the time frame of a couple of months until the next tier, and obviously more floors will open up, or
yeah,
at least I think so.
potentially.
Then nobody's thinking about those first runs they have to do. For alts, yeah, it can be a drag, but it kind of depends on which alt you bring. Some classes have it a little bit easier than other classes. It also depends on your own skill with that specific class, of course.
I think one of the
But I
biggest
still don't like it.
one tip actually for everyone watching if you haven't done Torghast yet, this week is when you complete the first quest for like 10, 50 Solash or whatever, go and turn it in and then come back because otherwise you're going to waste your time and have to come back and do it again. And also make sure you buy the quest item off the vendor because me and Nikolai forgot and potentially nearly had
Yeah,
to
me
go and do
too.
a run of Torghast.
that was actually really scary. I was legit scared.
Every time I
having
got
to do it
to
again.
every time I got to the vendor, I was like, please Lord, be on the vendor, please. I just can't do it again. But no, it's good. How Luke Frothy? I mean, how are you guys finding Torghast?
I like it. I'm happy to do it. I do agree that it is quite mentally tiresome to do on multiple characters at the moment, but I think that's because I feel like I've still got so much to do on my main. So
Yeah,
it's not, I don't really want to commit all that time to alts.
I think
But in the future, I will probably be more than happy to.
I think I'm probably in the camp of it's just a chore for me. Comparing it to Visions on my Demon Hunter, I could literally just fly through them and just do it like so quick. Where to August, I know I'm comparing two separate things here, but I'm literally just having to like blind and sap certain mob packs and then pull out the.
Yeah, so what you're
elite.
saying is you can't just ruffle stomp it with an
I
overgrowth.
can't waffle stomp it on the rogue. I know it's different for some
Well,
classes,
I
but for me
like.
it takes like 40 minutes to a layer. Or
So
something like that.
if I want if I want a sort of no brain, you can do it in protection. But if I want to do it in retry, I can. But like you said, I do really have to think about the pulls. I have to think what to CC. I have to wait for cooldown sometimes, and
feels bad.
I do
But
feel like that's quite engaging and fun. Like I personally enjoy it.
Just roll priests and go mind control the elites and let them kill each other. It's quite amusing. Me and Nikolai thoroughly enjoyed it.
yeah, but I think that's a window you're looking through because like I see where Luke is coming from because it's hard for him to do now. He doesn't really enjoy it. I couldn't do a 5 mask on my druid.
Yeah, but druids did struggle in Visions. They were one of the classes that really did.
Yeah.
And
I could do it maybe, but it will be such a big risk of just wasting all that resource, which I needed still for the upgrades.
I mean,
now I can actually do Thorgas, so I enjoy it
Cool
because
thing
it's
as well,
doable.
it doesn't cost currency to actually enter because that would be.
You're not losing anything. You can go in there and try to do a crazy builder.
Do you guys not realise that it takes 500 gold off you every time you enter?
It's fine. I got loads now.
What I'm actually looking forward to, like I don't enjoy Torgas, I didn't enjoy Visions, but I actually enjoyed making gold out of it. So hunters were actually really good in boosting Visions. I actually got a lot of gold there, I'm
been
actually
looking
looking
in
forward to
trade
like
chat.
exploiting that chance or opportunity again.
I forgot about.
I've been looking in trade chat, trying to see if you've been advertising yet, Nikolai. I'm surprised you've not gotten it yet.
Yeah, it'll be there next week. He tried charging me, but I told him to fuck off. But no, so I think Torgas is there. It's there. It's going to be a long one, but hopefully it'll get quite easy on the week.
I think one thing is I know it's a struggle for alts, but DT mentioned it last podcast. But in 2 weeks' time, once we have our rank 4s, unless you're looking to get over legendaries or whatever, that's it. You're done.
Yeah, it is optional.
Yeah, potentially, yeah. But it'll be interesting to see what happens. But no, it's good. So I think that obviously like, a lot of the main topics are obviously Mythic Plus raid, Torgas. That's what a lot of people are doing. There's other little things like the more, but I think people understand and know it now. It is what it is. It's there if you want to do it. Do you want to put sockets on gear that you're going to potentially replace in a few weeks? Probably not. It'd be pretty stupid to do that. Also takes quite a lot of grinding to get to that level at the moment with the rep. Has anyone been doing anything else this week?
Making money. That's what I've been doing.
Okay, so how have you been?
I started this expansion with 15k gold. Sorry, 150k gold. 15k is low, not a lot of money. So I started with 150k, and currently I am at I think when I go to my mailbox 580k gold. It was really easy to make money and play the auction house if you actually spend time with it. Prices are going all over the place. Some prices are just doubling in a couple of hours. And if you just keep track of what the normal prices are, you can see when people are just buying everything out before the raid. So that's what actually happened before this raid.
Yeah, I mean,
8 o'clock.
I used to do that in past expansions, and that's kind of a bank of gold I've been sitting on for the past few expansions now because I made so much money back in the day. But it's something I did used to enjoy. They used to call me, I don't know if I can say on this podcast, but they used to call me Juken. Because I just loved money making by the large part. And,
I definitely don't think you can say that, but you said it now.
But it is really fun to do. Actually, it's quite an addiction to do if you get all your TSM set up and your sniping add-ons, and You can actually download a TSM app on your computer, which tracks the server economy for you at all times. And
Absolutely.
like DT says, in the early parts of an expansion, there's always a
Yeah.
killing to be made flipping the auction house.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's true, but I think making gold, you've got to understand it, haven't you? Like DT said. But what, Nikolai, what have you been doing? Obviously, our special guest for today.
Actually, I've been doing a lot of work quests, especially the reputation and anima ones, because I'm looking forward to buying out all the transmog stuff when the renown gets high enough, because I actually enjoy the set.
You want the fairy backpack, Nikolai?
Oh, I already have it.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Like one colored version.
I like that. I'm so tempted to buy the gravestone for my back. I love it.
Was you actually trying to show me your backpack in the raid? Because I thought
Yeah, but
I
I
zoomed
think I
into
had
you and
some
I
toy
couldn't
on
see you.
and you didn't see it.
Is
I
that
was
a
trying to
fairy
make some
backpack?
carry joke, but yeah.
Oh
Kind
my
of
god, it looks so
backfired.
horrible. But isn't rep farming a lot easier? I think it's a lot easier now because you got several world quests that have 175 rep. Because if you
Yeah,
complete, you get
exactly.
125.
Yeah,
so that's 300
the
rep.
Collins give you 500 as well, don't
Yeah,
they?
no,
Yeah,
I like
and the rare in there's a rare in our world that you can power and then kill him, and that gives 500 rep to random because it's different bosses that spawns.
Yeah.
That's 500 rep, and I think I'm already revered with all of the basic ones already, which is pretty fast. I mean, we're all playing this for like 2 weeks. So.
I think I'm friendly. I think I'm friendly with all of them.
It is.
I stopped doing McCollins a few days ago. Now
You have to go outside to do something.
I think it is quite. It's quite apparent, and it is the same in a lot of expansions where if you do the daily stuff and you do all the daily stuff available, especially world quests, you can get the reps quite quick. And to be fair, you do need it like cauldrons, feasts, all that stuff. But I guess from Luke's point of view is, why do I need to do it? Because if someone else has already got the recipes.
The thing is, as soon as Mythic Plus came out, all that stuff goes out the window for me. And just thinking about it now, like, why wouldn't they implement some kind of rep gain into Mythic Plus?
Well, they used to have it so you could wear tabards and get rep.
Yeah, no, they can't. You can't do that. You can't do that because.
Why not? Cause I'm still playing the game for them. I'm still paying the subscription. I'm putting a lot of hours into Mythic Plus. They could give me 5 rep a dungeon.
Yeah, but look, I was doing dungeons galore, and they chose to give me 7 sea breezes. It's the same question, isn't it, really? Why would they choose to do that?
But the thing is, you don't really need to rep. I mean, if you want to have the transmogs or mounts, sure, then you need to go to Exalted. But to have player power, you don't need to rep at all.
Yeah, no, you don't.
It's
just
more
do
for
your calling and that's it.
That's always the case. So you never need it for that. What sort of Amina levels are people sat on at the moment?
I think I have like 11k at the moment.
Okay.
0.
I think I have about 4k. So I'm not really target farming it at all.
I have 8k for the moment, and I upgraded most things.
I think I'm on about 10 now.
That I could. Yeah.
Honestly, I did the tea party the first time, and I ain't done anything to do with anima since. I thought, right, I'm not liking the road it's going down here. I don't need it. I'm not doing any other Covenant buildings or anything like that. It's just pointless.
Yeah.
For me,
I think my phone just died, by the way. Not that you're wondering why my
right now,
screen turned red.
Down here, you can currently see a frozen Nicholas. If anyone wants to take some print screens,
it's definitely that way.
I mean, it is for
you.
Yeah,
for me, it's that way.
For me, all right. So, bit of everywhere.
But I think that spotlights the good thing about this expansion, that Luke is able not to do things, while in BFA he had to do everything, even if you didn't like him.
Yeah.
I think
that's what I wanted to finish off on, was like, it's good though because I don't have to do it. Where in past I would have had to do it.
No,
you can do like the verbal minimum as well, like just your callings, and you'll still get it.
You can, yeah, definitely. It's a good.
Yeah, but if as soon as they make those things, you have to do them, then it's not alt friendly anymore.
It's like it was very poor in Legion in the sense that you didn't need to do every artifact power quest on the map, but if you did, you'd be stronger.
Yeah, no.
And that's what you want to avoid.
100%.
Well, it was the same with BFA for pretty much a long while.
Yeah, like the more islands you do, the stronger you're going to be.
Yeah, you can't relate those to player power, because if you link it to player power, then it is obligated to do if you want to do mythic and push mythic keys or whatever it is.
That's it.
you can say it's optional. You don't have to do it. Yeah, well, I can sell all my gear to the vendor. I don't have to wear gear. I mean, obviously, you need to get the gear and you need to get the upgrades. So
No, it's very
Yeah.
true. Oh god, I think all
I
my
think we
cameras.
lost Nikolai.
We just lost
we just lost
Nikolai's
his phone.
phone,
All
I
my
think.
cameras went up on as well, but no. It's good. I like it. It's been it's been an interesting one again, as always it is. I think we're in a rhythm now. We're doing them weekly. I think we might continue through some pre-raid. After raid, sorry. I thought it worked quite well. We'll get another guest on next week more than likely.
Yep.
So first of all, Nikolai, thanks for joining us because it's been.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
No, you
I
are.
enjoyed
pleasure.
myself.
It's good you're our first
Thank
guest.
you.
It's been good to get a insight from our top DPS as well because that's important. We love them 99s, man.
What was your average for this raid again, Nikolai?
I think for heroic was like 98 or something.
Frothy's getting mad down there because he wants to
I'm
challenge him.
fucking scammed, mate.
But he's currently tanking for the soft drink Master Pepsi
And
that's no longer here.
And I think for normal it was like a 95. But I have an 80 on Shriekwing, so that's kind of tanking it.
It's nice. So I think, is there anything anyone else that sort of wants to say or out to the viewers before we sign off? Because I've got a brilliant sign off this week. You're gonna love it.
I don't think I've got any good tips this week. I've just been in the Mythic Plus. I guess the tips is for any people out there, resources for Mythic Plus. You know, there's Raider.io, boots that come out by Dratnos, catches videos out again now, and there's also a good website called Mythic Trap. Got a
That's
lot
really
of good,
good, that.
got
Really
a
good.
lot of good
Trap's really good.
visuals on there. I've really enjoyed going through that.
Well, I think can we put the link down below? Are we allowed to do that?
Yeah.
So
Well,
we'll include the
I
Mythic.
don't think I'd be against it.
We'll
Would they?
include the
Free
Mythic
advertising.
Trap link down below because I think it is a website that when Jack showed it me, I was like, wow, this website's really good. It's really good for raids as well, not just dungeons.
It's got a mini game on there for the maze in Nissoft Tarina South.
It's not Tarina South. It's Tirana South.
Tarina South. Yep.
But no, that's good.
That's my tip anyway.
I like it. Any other tips from you boys?
Stay safe, stay
next
healthy.
expansion, just pick a hunter, boys. You'll always have a good spec to play.
Yeah, I'm up to reroll.
So I guess my challenge to everyone now is, look, how many people was I out DPSing on the ads on console?
I think it was just one. So.
Right. So
I mean,
that's the challenge.
to be fair, but a lot of others were also like really low. I think I had like 170k. I think I was sitting on top, and some range DPS had like 30-40k. So yeah, I guess there's room for improvement there. But but then again, people saw the fight for the first time. No hard feelings.
It's all good. It's all good fun.
People just wanted to beat Nikolai on logs, so ignoring tactics. That's all it is.
I mean, I was trying to beat his damage logs, me. That's all I was going for.
I had to tank, so.
Yeah, no, well, next week we'll be back.
Really.
We'll be back with Frothy. Yeah. Maybe we'll give him some PIs, so he'll be smiling a little bit more.
My offer still stands.
There we go, Frothy.
My challenge.
There we go. So remember, though, what happens, boys? Give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day. Teach a man to fish, and he'll fish. He'll eat for the rest of his life.
Yes, he messed it up.
I proper messed that one up, didn't I? And that's it.
You can edit it. It's fine.
No, it's fine. We're natural on here. It's a one-take wonder. As Charlie Sloth would say, it was one take.
And he can try again next week.
And that's it. Thank you for listening as always. Nikolai, thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
Thank you, both.
No, thank you.
Yep.
Thank you, everyone.